So not being a big fan of the Seiko Samurai, I was pretty surprised how much I liked this one when I got it in hand. Hey guys, it's Alex with Hammond Watch. Here today with the King Samurai SRPE37. I've never been a big fan of the Samurai divers from Seiko. Something about their overall look didn't do it for me. That said, I do enjoy the monster style hands and think they've had some really attractive dials, especially the orange version. But this model that comes with just a few upgrades, I think has really kind of changed the whole look and feel of the watch and added a shine and a luster it was kind of missing. And I must say I'm a pretty big fan of this current iteration. If you're not familiar, it's a 43.8 millimeter case. Your lug to lug is 48.5 millimeters, and you have drilled lug holes for easy strap changes. You're 13.3 millimeters thick. That's not including the millimeter or two you gain from the Cyclops. And you have a 22 millimeter lug width. Coming out of that 22 millimeter lug is one of the best straps in the business. And especially at the price point, Seiko does a really good job nowadays with their rubber straps. Thick enough to hold the watch in place, flexible enough to be extremely comfortable, and with almost like a velvety texture to it. I use these on my Citizen dive watches, even with the Seiko hardware, which is finished beautifully. You've got a nice polished edge and brushing with plenty of room to hold both sides of the strap in place, so there's not a whole bunch of wiggle or play. Really robust hardware, and I think you can pick these up on eBay for like 40 bucks, and I haven't really found a competitor that does the same thing there. Sometimes I prefer going like with a Barton because it's nice and thin, but on a chunkier watch, I think that these do just an incredible job. Nothing about the case has changed. It's still the same old Samurai case, still a screw down case back. The watch does have 200 meters water resistance and one of the easier to grip crowns in the industry. The movement powering this is the Seiko 4R35. That's an automatic movement, 3 hands and a date. It has hacking and hand winding. Hacking meaning your seconds hand is going to stop for precise time setting, and hand winding just meaning you can manually get the watch wound and kind of get it brought to life. The upgrades and changes to the watch kind of start with the dial. I love this 3D pattern. It plays with the light just enough to add visual interest while not taking away from any of the watch's legibility. The gold seconds hand as well as the gold Divers 200 text add a nice little pop of color, as in general going white on white can get a little bit bland. The hands, as I mentioned before, very monster-esque, and along with the indices are black but are reflective black, so it kind of ties in this whole shiny nature of the watch between the crystal, the bezel insert, and this new stainless steel ring kind of separating the two. The bezel insert itself I think is wonderfully executed apart from being misaligned. I love that they went with a pip and just painted bezel. That way it comes off less like a modded watch and has a bit more of a stock feel, which I appreciate. The sapphire crystal did get the addition of a Cyclops magnifier. Take it or leave it. I don't hate it when we're just over a date. I'm not a fan of the big candy bar style. I do wish that they would use a Cyclops that maybe filled up a little bit more, but all things considered, I don't think it's a negative point to the watch. Probably the most important feature that's been upgraded is this metal ring or metal section between the bezel insert and the crystal. It just adds another reflective point and really ties everything together. I think that the bezel insert now looks a little bit more modern, not just because of modern materials, but because it's been shrunken down a little bit, and it just balances the whole look a lot better. As you'd expect from a Seiko dive watch, the Lume Bright is incredibly potent. Low light and in dark conditions, you're not going to have any problem with legibility. You're also not going to have any problem with duration, as this is some of the best lume in the business. So here's the watch on my 7.5 to 7 3/4 inch wrist. Like most Seikos, it's big and chunky without feeling that way. The compact lug to lug really keeps it kind of nice and tidy on your wrist. It doesn't protrude too much in any direction, but you certainly know that you're wearing a watch. A big shout out goes to David at Jewelry Works in Gainesville, Florida. He is my local Seiko authorized dealer. He also sells some used luxury timepieces, and has just been a great help to the channel. Really good guy to deal with if you're ever looking for anything Seiko. He's got a pretty strong inventory and can usually find it if he doesn't have what you're looking for in stock. All his contact details are below. I'm not pulling a commission or anything, but if you could let him know you found out about him through Hammond Watch, I'd appreciate it. Also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Helps us out in YouTube's algorithm, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.